Ready? Start. Accused has filed this petition at initial stage on being summoned seeking quashing of complaint and summoning order on the ground that since admittedly the checks in question which were dishonored were undated signed blank checks delivered at the time of submitting AMC profile. Therefore, proceedings under Section 138 of the Act of 1881 cannot be initiated as the check in question does not fall within the sweep of checks mentioned in Section 138 of the Act of 1881. Stop. Learned counsel for the petitioner has also submitted that on the date the checks in question issued were the security checks and not for existing and legally recoverable liability, and therefore prosecution commenced is not maintainable. Stop. From careful reading of the definition of the check, it is apparent that check is a bill of exchange drawn on a specified banker and not expressed to be payable otherwise than on demand. Stop. On reading the definition of negotiable instrument, it is apparent that check is a negotiable instrument, whereas Section 87 deals with effect of material alteration. Stop. Section 118 raises various statutory presumptions in favor of holder of a negotiable instrument which include checks. Stop. Section 138 inserted by Amendment Act in the year 1989 deals with dishonor of the check for insufficiency of funds etc. in the account of the drawer of the check. Stop. It is provided under Section 138 that if any check drawn by a person on an account maintained by him with a banker for payment of any amount of money to another person for the discharge in whole or in part of any debt or other liability is returned by the bank unpaid, such person shall be deemed to have committed an offence. Stop. Of course, it is also provided that merely on dishonor of the check offence under Section 138 would not be complete unless demand for payment of the said amount of money by giving notice in writing to the drawer of the check is sent and the drawer does not make the payment within 15 days of the receipt of said notice. Stop. Explanation of Section 138 provides that debt or other liability means a legally enforceable debt or other liability. Stop. The above reasoning of the Delhi High Court is clearly flawed in as much as it failed to keep in mind the fine distinction between civil liability and criminal liability under Section 138 of the NI Act. Stop. If at the time of entering into a contract it is one of the conditions of the contract that the purchaser has to pay the amount in advance and there is breach of such condition, then purchaser may have to make good the loss that might have occasioned to the seller. Stop.